The alien colony world was quiet in a way that felt heavy. The sky was gray, and the air smelled of dust and cold metal. Broken buildings stood like tired giants, and the streets were filled with shadows. Hunger lived here. Fear lived here too. Alien. Children moved carefully between the shelters. Their skin colors were different shades of blue and green. Their eyes were large and watchful. They had learned to stay silent. On this world, noise brought trouble. From the far end of the street, something strange appeared. A small human child walked alone. He was much smaller than the alien kids. His clothes were old and too big for him. His boots were worn, and his hands were red from the cold. He carried a small bag on his back. Each step he took was slow, careful, like he knew he did not belong here. The alien children stopped moving. They stared. Humans were not welcome on this world. Humans were known as fighters, takers, and troublemakers. That was what the adults said. That was what the lessons taught. A human child was still a human. The small human stopped near a broken wall. He looked around and saw the alien kids watching him. Their eyes were full of fear and anger, but also hunger. He did not smile. He did not wave. He simply sat down on the cold ground. Slowly, he opened his bag. Inside was only one thing, a single piece of candy. It was small and wrapped in thin paper. It looked bright in the gray world, like a tiny piece of color that did not belong. The human child held it for a moment. His stomach growled, but he ignored it. Then he did something no one expected. He unwrapped the candy and broke it into small pieces, very small pieces. He placed them on his open hand and held his hand out toward the alien children. The street went silent. The alien kids froze. Their hearts beat fast. Sharing food was dangerous. Food meant survival. Food meant power. No one shared food here, not even family. One alien child took a step back. Another shook his head. This had to be a trick. The human child did not move. His hand stayed open. His eyes stayed calm. He looked tired, but not afraid. Minutes passed. Finally, a small alien girl stepped forward. Her clothes were torn, and her face was thin. Hunger burned in her eyes. Slowly, she reached out and took one tiny piece of candy. Nothing happened. No trap. No pain. She put the candy in her mouth. Her eyes widened. Sweetness filled her senses, something she had not felt in a very long time. Her shoulders relaxed without her noticing. Other alien kids moved closer. One by one, they took a piece. The candy was gone in seconds, but something else remained. A strange feeling spread between them. It felt warm. It felt wrong. And it felt good. The human child smiled softly. Then the sky screamed. Loud alarms echoed across the colony. Red lights flashed above the buildings. The ground vibrated as alien patrol ships flew low. The alien children panicked. Guards! Someone whispered. Helping a human was against the law. Talking to a human was dangerous. Sharing food with a human could mean punishment. The kids stepped away, fear rushing back into their hearts. The human child stood up quickly. His smile faded. He looked up at the sky, then back at the kids. He understood. He had seen fear before. He raised his hand slowly to show he meant no harm. Alien guards appeared at the end of the street. Their armor was dark and heavy. Their weapons were ready. Their eyes locked onto the small human child. One guard pointed and shouted orders. The alien children trembled. Some wanted to run. Some wanted to hide. One wanted to cry. The human child took a small step forward, placing himself between the guards and the alien kids. He was shaking, but he did not move away. The guards closed in. In that moment, everyone knew something important was about to happen. A single piece of candy had already changed this world. And now, the price of kindness was about to be tested. The guards did not fire. They surrounded the small human child instead. Their boots hit the ground with heavy sounds. Their armor was dark, covered in old marks from past fights. They looked down at the child like he was a dangerous thing, even though he was small and shaking. The alien children watched from behind broken walls and metal doors. Their hearts were racing. They wanted to speak, but fear locked their voices. On this world, fear always won. The human child was taken away. As the guards pulled him down the street, the alien kids slowly disappeared into the shadows. But something inside them did not disappear. Something stayed awake. Later that night, the colony world slept. But hunger did not. The alien children sat in small groups inside cold shelters. Wind moved through broken walls. Some of them still tasted the candy on their tongues. The sweetness was gone, but the memory stayed strong. They whispered to each other, "Why did he share? He was hungry too. Humans do not do that." That was what they were taught. Long ago, this world had rules about helping each other. Elders shared food. Families protected the weak. But war came, then hunger, then fear. Little by little, kindness was called weakness. The children were taught a new rule: take first, or lose everything. That rule kept them alive, but it also made them empty. Far away, in a cold holding room, the human child sat alone. The walls were metal. The light was white and harsh. His hands were free, but his heart felt heavy. He thought about the alien kids. He wondered if they were safe. He reached into his pocket, even though he knew it was empty. The candy was gone, all of it. He did not regret it. He remembered his home on the human ship. He remembered warm lights and shared meals. He remembered his mother's voice. "If you see someone hungry," she used to say, "you share, even if you have very little." The guards watched him through a glass wall. They were confused. The child did not cry. He did not beg. He just sat there, quiet and calm. "This makes no sense," one guard said. "He gave food away," another replied. "Humans take, they do not give." But the truth was now in front of them, and it did not fit their beliefs. The next day, the alien children went back to the street where it happened. The ground was empty. No candy, no human. Only dust. One alien boy bent down and touched the ground where the human had sat. He closed his eyes. He remembered the feeling of not being afraid. Just for a moment, that moment mattered. Later, a small alien girl tried something dangerous. She took a piece of dried food from her pack and broke it in half. She offered it to a younger child. The younger child stared in shock. "Why?" he asked. She did not know how to explain. She just said, "Because." Word spread quietly. A shared bite, a shared drink. Small actions hidden from adult eyes. The world did not change in one day. Hunger was still there. Fear was still strong. But something new was growing under it all. The guards reported to their leaders. They spoke about the human child and the candy. The leaders listened in silence. A single act, one leader said, can be dangerous. "Yes," another replied, "especially when children see it." They ordered the human child to be questioned. Back in the holding room, the door opened. A tall alien leader stepped inside. His eyes were sharp, but curious. "Why did you give your food away?" he asked. The child looked up. "They were hungry," he said simply. The leader felt something strange in his chest. Anger? Confusion? Or something older, something forgotten? Outside, the alien children waited without knowing it. They waited for an answer. The alien leader did not answer right away. He stood in front of the small human child and studied him in silence. The room was cold and bright, made to scare prisoners. But the child did not look afraid. He sat still, his hands resting on his knees, his eyes calm but tired. "Humans are known for taking," the leader finally said. The child looked up. "I only had one candy," he replied. "I did not need all of it." The leader felt his thoughts slow. That answer was too simple, too honest. Outside the holding room, guards argued in low voices. News of the candy had spread faster than expected. Alien children were whispering. They were sharing food. Rules were being tested. That scared the adults more than any weapon. The leader turned and left the room. Orders were given quickly. The human child was taken through the colony streets in full view of everyone. Guards wanted the children to see what happened to rule breakers. They wanted fear to return. Alien children hid behind walls, doors, and broken machines. Their eyes followed the small human as he passed. Some felt shame. Some felt anger. Some felt something new. One alien boy clenched his fists. He shared, he whispered. That should not be a crime. The guards stopped in the center of the colony. A platform stood there, used for public warnings. The human child was placed on it. The leader spoke loudly so all could hear. This human broke our law, he said. He interfered with our way of survival. The crowd was silent. The leader raised his hand to continue, but something unexpected happened. A small alien girl stepped forward. She was shaking. Her legs felt weak, but she did not stop. He did not hurt us, she said, her voice quiet but clear. He gave us food. Gasps moved through the crowd. The guards turned their weapons toward her. Go back, one guard ordered. She did not move. He was hungry too, she said, but he shared. More alien children stepped forward, slowly, carefully. Each step felt dangerous. He smiled at us. He did not take anything. He was kind. The leader felt the crowd shift. Fear was still there, but it was no longer alone. This was not supposed to happen. The leader raised his hand sharply. The guards stopped the children from coming. Closer. That is enough, he said. The human child looked at the alien kids. He wanted to speak, but he knew it would only make things worse. So he stayed silent. The leader ordered the guards to take the child away again. But something had already changed. That night, alien parents argued in their shelters. Some were angry at their children. Some were afraid of punishment. Others were confused. My child shared food today, one parent whispered. That is dangerous, another replied. But was it wrong? The question felt heavy. The guards were restless too. They remembered the way the child looked at them. No fear. Just calm. One guard could not sleep. He remembered his own childhood before the wars. Before hunger turned everyone cold. The next morning, the leader called a meeting. Elders and guards gathered. The human child must be removed, one elder said. He is changing the children, another added. Yes, the leader replied, and that is why this is dangerous. But deep inside, he knew the truth was more complex. The child had done something no adult could do. He made the children remember. Outside, alien kids sat together in small groups. They shared what little they had. They spoke softly. They watched the sky. They did not know what would happen to the human child, but they knew one thing for sure. The adults were afraid now, and fear meant the story was far from over. The room of judgment was tall and cold. The ceiling was high, and strange alien symbols glowed faintly on the walls. This place was used to decide punishment, not truth. Many had stood here before, most left broken. The small human child stood alone in the center. He looked even smaller here. Alien leaders sat in a wide circle above him. Their faces were hard, shaped by years of war and hunger. Guards stood at every door, silent and ready. The leader from before stepped forward. You broke our law, he said. You interfered with our children. The human child looked up. His hands were shaking, but his voice was steady. I only shared, he said. Murmurs moved through the room. Sharing weakens survival, one leader said. Kindness invites loss, another added. The child listened carefully. He did not interrupt. Why, the main leader asked, did you give your food away when you were hungry? The child thought for a moment. He remembered the cold streets, the alien kid's eyes, the fear. Because hunger hurts, he said. And it hurts less when you are not alone. Silence filled the room. Some leaders felt anger rise. Others felt something they did not like to feel, memory. The leader walked closer. Do you understand, he asked, that your actions could break our control? The child nodded slowly. I understand, he said, but control is not the same as care. That sentence struck harder than any weapon. Outside the chamber, alien children waited. They were not supposed to be there, but no one stopped them. They sat quietly in the long halls, holding each other's hands. Some held small bits of food they had shared earlier like proof. One alien boy whispered, "He will be punished." Another replied, "He told the truth." Inside the chamber, the leaders argued. "This child is dangerous," one said. "He teaches without force," another replied. "That is exactly the danger," a third snapped. The main leader raised his hand for silence. "We will decide," he said. He turned back to the child. "If we release you," he asked, "will you stop?" The child looked confused. "Stop." "Sharing?" he asked. "Yes." The child shook his head gently. "No," he said. The guards moved at once. Weapons lifted. The tension snapped tight. The leader raised his hand again. Enough. He studied the child carefully. No lies, no fear. Just quiet strength in a small body. "You risk yourself for others," the leader said. "Yes," the child replied. "Even strangers?" "Yes." The leader stepped back. "This trial is not about law," he said slowly. "It is about who we have become." The words shocked the room. Outside, a loud sound echoed. Alien children had started to hum. A soft sound, low and steady. It was an old song taught long ago before the wars. Few adults remembered it, but the children did. The sound reached the chamber. Leaders froze. That song was about sharing, about survival together. The leader closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, his voice was different. "The child will not be punished," he said. Gasps filled the room. "He will be watched," the leader continued. "And we will watch ourselves." The guards lowered their weapons. The child felt his knees weaken with relief. He did not smile. He simply bowed his head. Outside, the alien children felt it at the same moment. The humming stopped. Hope rushed in. The trial ended, but something much bigger had begun. A single child had stood before power and spoken kindness. And power had listened. The human child was released at sunrise. The guards walked him back through the colony streets, but this time, they did not push him or shout. Their weapons stayed low. Their eyes avoided his. The alien children were already waiting. They stood on rooftops, behind broken walls, near doorways. When they saw the child, a quiet sound moved through the crowd. It was not fear, it was relief. The child stopped walking. He looked at them, unsure what to do. Then a small alien boy stepped forward and held out a piece of dried food. It was rough and tasteless, but it was precious. "For you," the boy said. The human child's eyes widened. He did not reach for it right away. "Share," the boy added softly. The child smiled. They broke the food in half. That simple act was seen by everyone. And like fire in dry grass, it spread. Across the colony, alien children began to copy what they had seen. One child shared water. Another shared warmth by sitting close in the cold. Older kids protected younger ones without asking for anything back. Adults watched in silence. Some were angry, some were afraid. Some were deeply confused. "This will weaken us," one alien parent said, but another replied, "Look at them. They are stronger together." The leaders noticed changes quickly. Fights between children stopped. Theft dropped. Injuries became fewer. Children who once hid now played in open spaces. The guards reported something strange. "Crime is falling," one guard said. "Fear is lowering," another added. The leader listened, his face tight. "How?" he asked. "A human child," the guard replied. And the children followed him. The leader dismissed them, but his thoughts stayed restless. The human child moved freely now, but always watched. He returned to the streets, to the same broken wall. He did not bring more candy. He had nothing extra to give. It did not matter. The alien children brought him into their world. They showed him hiding places, secret paths, safe corners. They taught him their games. They laughed quietly at first, then louder. Adults remembered that sound. Laughter had once been common. One night, an alien mother watched her child give away food to a stranger. Her hands shook with fear, but she did not stop him. Instead, she turned away and cried quietly. She remembered doing the same thing long ago. Across the colony, whispers spread. Humans are different. This one is. They teach without force. The leaders gathered again. "This cannot continue," one elder said. "We are losing control," another added. The leader stood slowly. "Are we losing control?" he asked, "or gaining something else?" Silence followed. "The children trust each other now," he continued. "They are not ruled by fear." "That is dangerous," an elder snapped. "Yes," the leader replied. "To those who fear change." That night, a human relief ship landed nearby. Food, medicine, and shelter were offered. For the first time, alien children approached humans without screaming or running away. They remembered the candy. They remembered the sharing. Humans were surprised. "We expected anger," one human worker said. "We found welcome," another replied. Alien adults watched as their children stood between humans and guards, calm and unafraid. The leader realized the truth. Humans did not conquer with weapons. They changed worlds through example. One small human child had done what armies could not. He had reminded a broken world how to care. And now the fire of compassion was spreading beyond control. The galaxy would notice soon. News does not travel. Slowly in the galaxy, what began as whispers on a broken colony world soon reached trade stations, patrol routes, and council halls. Reports spoke of something strange and unsettling. An alien world had changed, not through war, not through fear, but through a human child. Galactic observers watched recorded feeds again and again. Alien children sharing food. Guards lowering weapons. Humans walking freely among those who once hated them. "This is impossible," one council member said. "Humans create chaos," another replied. "But this," a third whispered, "this is order without force." That frightened them. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Massive screens lit the chamber, showing images of the colony. Charts showed falling crime, falling violence, rising cooperation, all without military control, the High Speaker said. "That sets a dangerous example. If one world learned to live without fear, others would ask why they could not do the same." Decision was made. The human child had to be removed. Orders were sent to the colony leaders, quietly, firmly, on the ground. The leader received the message in his private chamber. He read it slowly, then closed his eyes. "They fear the child," he said to himself, "because they cannot control him." Guards were sent to find the human child, but when they reached the streets, they did not find him alone. Alien children stood around him in a wide circle. Some held hands. Others stood shoulder to shoulder. Their faces were calm, but determined. The guards stopped. "You must move," one guard said carefully. "No," an alien girl replied. More children stepped forward. "He stays. He is one of us. He taught us. The guards hesitated. They had orders, but they also had eyes. They saw something they had never seen before. Unity. The leader arrived soon after. He looked at the children, then at the human child standing quietly among them. The council demands you leave, the leader said. The child nodded slowly. He had expected this. I understand, he said. The alien children reacted at once. Some cried, some shouted. Some begged the leader to refuse. The child raised his hand gently. It is okay, he said. I shared what I had. You gave us more than food, an alien boy said. You gave us courage. The leader felt his chest tighten. This world has changed, the leader said to the guards. And the council will not like that. The human relief ship prepared for departure. Humans and aliens stood together on the landing ground. There were no weapons raised, no shouting, only silence and heavy hearts. As the child walked toward the ship, an alien mother stepped forward. She placed a small carved token in his hand. So you remember us, she said. I will, the child replied. The ship lifted into the sky. From above, the child looked down at the colony world. It was still broken, still poor, still scarred. But it was no longer empty. Across the galaxy, reactions exploded. Some worlds banned humans at once. Some increased military power. Others quietly asked questions. How did they do it? What if fear is not needed? What if kindness is stronger? The council issued warnings. Human compassion is a destabilizing force, they declared. Exposure must be limited. But it was too late. The story had already spread. On distant worlds, alien children asked their parents why sharing was wrong. On stations, guards hesitated before using force. On human ships, crews stood taller, quieter, prouder. Humanity had not fired a single shot, yet the galaxy had shifted, and at the center of it all was one small human child, sitting on a ship, holding a simple alien token, unaware that he had started something no one could stop. The human relief ship moved through open space, quiet and steady. Inside, the small human child sat by a wide window, watching stars slide past like slow-moving lights. His feet did not reach the floor. In his hand, he held the small alien token. He rubbed it gently with his thumb, thinking about the children he had left behind. He did not feel like a hero. He felt tired. The humans on the ship spoke softly around him. Some smiled when they looked at him. Others looked away, unsure how to speak to a child who had changed a world without trying. A human officer finally knelt beside him. You did something big, the officer said. The child shook his head. I just shared, he replied. That answer followed the ship all the way back to human space. On the alien colony world, silence did not return to fear. The alien children kept meeting in the open streets. They shared food openly now. Adults watched, but fewer stopped them. Some even joined them. An alien father broke a piece of food and handed half to a neighbor. His hands shook as he did it. Nothing bad happened. The leader stood on a high platform days later and spoke to the people. We were taught that fear keeps us alive, he said. But fear also keeps us small. The crowd listened. A human child showed us another way. The leader continued, not with power, not with force, but with care. That day, the colony declared new laws. Sharing food was no longer a crime. Helping the weak was no longer punished. Human refugees were protected. The guards removed warning signs. Some even removed their helmets. Across the galaxy, the council watched in anger and worry. Contain this, they demanded. Erase the example. But stories do not obey orders. The story of the candy spread to schools, stations, and ships. It was told in different words on different worlds, but the meaning stayed the same. A small human shared food. A broken world remembered kindness. Alien worlds reacted in different ways. Some closed their borders. Some prepared weapons. Some secretly allowed human aid ships to land. On one distant planet, an alien child asked a teacher, "Why don't we share?" The teacher had no good answer. Humanity's reputation changed quietly. Not through victory parades or loud speeches, but through whispers and questions. Humans care. Humans teach without fear. Humans are dangerous because they change minds. The council released a final statement. Human compassion is a strategic threat. Humans read it and did not laugh. They understood. Back on Earth, the child returned to a simple life. No medals, no speeches, just school meals and quiet nights. Sometimes he dreamed of blue and green faces smiling in the cold streets. One day, a message arrived. The alien colony sent a recording. Alien children stood together, holding food they had grown themselves. They waved awkwardly at the camera. A small alien girl stepped forward. "We are not afraid anymore," she said. "We share now." The child watched in silence. His eyes filled, but he did not cry. He placed the alien token on his desk. Years later, historians would write about wars and treaties. They would list battles and leaders. But in one small section, almost hidden, there would be a simple truth. Humanity did not win the galaxy with weapons. Humanity did not rule through fear. Humanity changed everything because one child chose to share, and the galaxy would never forget that its greatest shift began not with fire or steel, but with a single piece of candy shared across worlds.